Miss Johnny, I'm going to ask you again, and I know we probably went through this before. First of all, you're Kirsten Johnny?
Yes.
And Miss Johnny, I want to make sure, because in that previously you said you didn't do it, you were forced to do it because of your financial, you were forced to plea because of your financial situation, and that it wasn't fair. And so tell me what your position is now.
I never really said I didn't do it. I said it was an accident.
Okay.
I still feel the same way a little bit.
All right.
I'm not gonna say I do feel the same way.
Now I understand, but you're not disagreeing that you didn't.
I said it was an accident. Somebody grabbing you by your foot. That's like somebody accidentally hit you in the back of your head. You're gonna have something that's normal.
Well, right, because you were not complying with what they told you to do to get out of the car, correct?
I was pulled over because I was in a high. I stayed in the area. I was pulled over because.
Hang on. Don't talk yourself out of this again. Because if you want to talk yourself out of it, we'll put it on the trial docket and we'll get it done in a few weeks and let a jury decide.
I'm not trying.
I'm trying, look at me. I'm actually trying to help you right now. Okay? If you had complied and just done what he asked you to from the very beginning of that stop, none of this would have happened. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yes.
Guess what?
Yeah.
No, do you agree? Listen to the question. Do you agree with that statement or do you disagree with that statement?
I don't want to lie.
You don't like it, do you? You don't think he should have done that?
It's not that. I feel like we was pulled over for no reason. If you follow.
It doesn't matter if you were pulled over for no. Listen to me. This is why we're hearing stuff all over in the news. It doesn't matter what you think. If a cop pulls you over, then take the ticket for not wearing your seatbelt. This is all over not wearing your seatbelt. And here you are in felony court and you're still not taking responsibility for the fact that he said, hey, ma'am, do this. And you said, I don't think you should have pulled me over, so I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to lodge my foot against the door, and I'm not going to get out. I'm going to make you drag me out of my car, and then I'm going to kick you because you shouldn't have pulled me over in the first place. When all you had to do was get your ticket, go to JP court, and try to fight it there legally. But here you are in felony court for a second-degree felony instead. So do you want to try to tell that story to a jury, or do you want to accept some responsibility today?
I don't feel like going to trial.
You don't feel like going to trial. Well, there's two parts to that question. Do you feel like accepting responsibility?
Yes, sir.
Do you think it would be a better idea next time you're pulled over to comply and just do what they ask you to?
Yes.
And Your Honor, just for the record, Miss Johnny did review the video with me in my office, so she is aware of what all transpired. She saw it.
Do you have any reason to believe she shouldn't be pleading to this from what you saw?
I do not.
So, you even saw how you acted. It's probably a good idea. All right. I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. I hope you prove me wrong on this, because I really have some concerns that you're going to be able to be successful, because you're not taking responsibility and you're not wanting to follow directions and things like that. And you're about to have 4 years of having to follow directions on probation. So I'm going to defer all proceedings for 4 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine. You're ordered to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is a great opportunity today, because you are not a convicted felon. You don't have that conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete it, follow all of the rules, you will never have a felony conviction. At the end of your probation, the case will actually be dismissed. The other side to that, though, and this is really important for you to understand, because we've had this conversation now so many times, I'm not likely to forget you. And you can ask anybody, and Ms. Holmes has known me for a long time. It's not usually good when I remember people, right? So if you violate your probation, you'll get brought back into court. You could be found guilty, which means you become a convicted felon, and I can sentence you to prison anywhere in the range of punishment, which is up to 20 years in prison for this. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation will go over your paperwork as soon as they're ready.
Okay, and you said that I'm not considered a conviction felon, but I was told that even though you say that, it's still gonna be on my record.
So the arrest is on your record. The arrest will always be on your record. But so if you're asked a question on a, filling out an application for a job or something, if it says, have you been convicted of a felony? The answer is no. But if it says, have you ever been charged with a felony, or are you on probation for a felony, you are going to have to say yes to that. But the conviction part is still better than nothing, not having that conviction, right?
Yes.
Okay, have a seat in the courtroom. Watch. Well, we need it today, because if I'm going to sentence her, the case gets closed, you won't be able to get it.
I'll email you this too.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
as soon as I get to my computer, which is
No,
next door.
I'll email.
Okay, either way, yeah, just do it before she does the judgment, because once that happens, I think the portal closes. All right, ma'am, you're Michelle Johnston.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. West, will your client waive the formal reading of the
She
indictment?
will, Your Honor. Thank you.
And so we're going forward today with sentencing and everything?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going forward. We're asking the court to give her credit for the time that she served, the 15 months on the federal sentence, which was the time that she served was during the pendency of this case. In fact, at this time, I offer State's Exhibit number 1.
2.
No,
Make it number 2, please.
Which is information related to her
federal sentence.
federal sentence. And for the record, she was indicted in the federal case in October of 2023, and then this case came along. October, she was pled and sentenced in the federal case in October of 2024, and this case had been pending, having been indicted in December of 2023.
So
no
she started, does that have any objection to that?
No objection, no objection.
So that sentence there was for a 15-month sentence.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so it's y'all's intention that I give her that entire 15 months and that she not be required to go do any?
That's the
Yes,
intent of the parties.
that's what we want, Your Honor, yes.
I guess the issue becomes on these, because it was a federal sentence, that she has not technically been to and received a number from TDC, which is required in this case. And so but you don't have one on this case.
But when Jefferson County came and picked me up from feds and brought me to 69, and I was over there overnight until I got the bond the next day. So they gave me a number.
Oh, that's a jail number.
So you have
Oh,
She has a TRN.
but she doesn't have a TDC.
Right. No, she's not going to
Yeah, because I've never been to TDC.
I don't think I can just give credit and her not go through. I can give her the credit,
Right.
but she's going to have to go in and get a TDC number. It's my understanding. So let's do this. Obviously, if you have credit, we're not going to make you go anywhere today. So just,
She's worked through it.
I understand what y'all are trying to do, and I'm not in disagreement with that. But legally, I have to make sure
Okay.
that we do it in the right way. Because if you don't have a TDC number, I don't think we can do it that way. The only thing that we could do on a state jail felony, if you want to give her, why don't y'all just do a 1244?
I'm okay with it.
That clears it all up.
I obviously don't have a problem with that, Your Honor.
Because then she'd need,
She has an TDC number.
she's doing her time in our county jail.
She has enough credit for
I'm
that.
looking at y'all like y'all are going to help me figure this out.
I'm okay with it.
I think that makes it cleaner because she doesn't necessarily,
I'm okay with that, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same result. Everybody
Yeah.
wants credit,
Right. It's still getting the conviction.
but it's still a state jail felony conviction, so she still needs a state, I'm thinking all this through, because she still needs a state.
And if need be, I'm okay with proceeding on lesser included.
That honestly makes it the most clean.
Just do a misdemeanor there,
12
sentence her to 12 months,
Yeah.
give her credit for the.
That
federal
helps, I think that makes it
So we can get on down the road, Judge.
As far as
Okay, I
convictions
appreciate
go,
that,
she has a
Mr.
federal
Coleman.
conviction. That's the-
So let me, hold on a second, let me get this indictment, and we're gonna go through all, I'm gonna recall everything that I just did. We're gonna kind of start over a little bit. You're good. This
You're
this
good.
makes it where you're going home and it's all taken care of, okay?
That's what we're trying to do, is there's
I was like,
some legalities that we have problems with, that's what we all want to do here.
When you get sentenced to state jail or TDC, you have to have a state jail or TDC number. You gotta kind of go through that process and then get right back out, but it's not necessarily a quick process always. So this is gonna be, with everyone's permission, can I make the modifications on the agreed punishment recommendations as well as the admonishments as to what we're doing?
No objection. Mr. Davis.
No objection from my Your Honor.
So I'm going to change this. I could figure it out. Okay, so let's go back. And in 23 DCCR 2260, the state is elected to proceed on the lesser included offense of a Class A misdemeanor theft from November 14th of 2020. And how do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And because you did what they charged you with?
Yes.
I have here on the computer some documents that have your signature on them that the state's marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. West?
Yes.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes.
And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes.
And what we've all worked through here is that the punishment would be for a 12-month term in the Jefferson County Jail. You will receive credit on that sentence for all of that time because you were in custody in,
Renee.
hold on, cause number, no, that's not it. Where is it?
24-CR-32, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. And that was a 15-month sentence in the federal system. And so I am giving you credit for all 12 months on this sentence. Is that everyone's understanding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
State tenders number 1,
No objection.
it's admitted. Also, I'm going to admit number 2 without objection.
No objection also.
All right. Is there any evidence that Ms. Johnston is not competent?
Oh, no, not, no, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of your plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty of the Class A misdemeanor of theft. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 12 months in the Jefferson County Jail. Again, you receive credit on that sentence for all of the time that you were in custody on that federal case. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. Should be printing soon. Here's states. Who gets that? Do they get states too? Oh. I get that. You get that. Okay, thank you, ma'am.